So our next shapegram that I'd like to show you, if this is the one you're choosing, is how to do letters using just shapes in Google Slides. Now, the best example I want to show you is right here on the left. You can see the artist who designed the Shapegram logo used just shapes to create those letters. We've got all different kinds of triangles and circles and half circles and there's so many shapes in there. I can't even write triangles and isosceles triangles, all kinds of shapes to create those letters. And you can see I even put your name as I was experimenting with using some of the shapes to create those letters. So let me show you how I did it. I went up to the shape tool and I put this difficulty level at medium because here's where you got to use your SpongeBob imagination to think about what shapes you can put together to create letters. So say I want to do the letter S. All right. Take a look at this S right here. We've got three different parts that we can make with it. So I am going to maybe choose this little squiggly shape right there. Is it going to draw it for me? There it goes for the top part of my S. And I'm going to use some shortcuts. So I'm going to use Control C, Control V to make that for the bottom part of my S. Now we all know that S's have that middle piece there. Oop, jump slide. Sorry about that. So let's go ahead over to our shape tool and maybe we can use this kind of angled piece here. All right, I'm drawing it off to the side because I want to be able to rotate. There we go. And I can make it look a little longer there by stretching it. All right, I got a pretty cool looking S. Now, what I am going to do is I want to make sure this middle piece is behind my top and bottom piece. So I'm going to go to Arrange, I'm going to go to Order, and I'm going to send it to the back. And now it looks like that middle piece is behind that top and bottom piece. All right, now I want to change the colors of my pieces because I don't want just gray. That's kind of boring. So I'm going to select around it using the arrow key. And that means that now that all of those pieces are selected, I can click the bucket tool and it will change all of those colors, all of those pieces into the same color. Now, some people might not like the look of the outline around it. You might want to change the outline to transparent so it looks like just one solid piece letter, but that's totally up to you as the artist. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do that. But if you want to keep the outlines, you can go ahead and feel free to keep the outlines just like you see them there. All right, I might leave them. All right, once again, here I go. I'm going to go to the shape tools. I need to create a W, but before I do that, I am going to select around my S and I'm going to go Arrange and Group. And why am I doing that? Because I want to make sure that all of those pieces are held together so that they don't fly apart if I want to move them around. All righty. Going back to the shape tools, I'm going to maybe use I'm going to use a triangle here. I'm going to use that nice isosceles triangle and maybe a couple of rectangles. Well, maybe this angled piece. That was a good piece to use. All right, maybe make my triangle just a little bit skinnier and then move this guy over. All right. All right, and I'm going to Control C, Control V that angled place, the angled piece, and I'm going to flip it horizontally. There we go. So it's opposite. There is a pretty interesting looking W. I might want my angled pieces sent to the back, so I'm going to send them to the back. Arrange, order, and send it to the back. Now there's no right way or wrong way to do this. You know what? I don't like that triangle in the middle. I'm going to try something a little different. Let's see what kind of shapes we have here in our shape tools. Let's see. Let's try the triangle again, but maybe something a little smaller. So it's all about using your imagination, all about what you can use to make different letters. Here we go. A little smaller triangle. That might fit a little bit better. And an interesting thing I learned today was by using that yellow handle, you can change the angle of your point. See, you can see it moving around. I'm going to make that a bit taller. Here we go. There's a cool W. Not a perfect W, but it will do. And like I did with my S, I'm going to select around it. I'm going to change its color. And if I had wanted to, I can leave the outlines transparent. Don't forget, group it together. So there goes my W. I is pretty easy to do. There's many ways to do an I. I'm probably just going to use a rectangle. Kind of looking more like a logo to me, which is actually kind of cool. And because it is an I might want to put a circle over the top of it. Now don't forget, when you're all done, you're going to want to include a background. And that's why it is super important to, when you're making your letters, to group them together like I've been showing you. Move this down so I can do that without interfering with the other letters. I'm going to make my I a little smaller. There we go. I'm going to arrange and group, and I'm going to put those letters together so that I can easily move them around and not have to select all the different pieces of the letters. There we go. And hey, I need 2 more S's, and I am so lucky that I was already made that one. So I'm just going to select it, Control C and Control V. The magic of Google Slides and its shortcuts is certainly wonderful. I think I'm going to select everything and move it on up so I have a little room for my last letter. And there we go. I have made Swiss using just the shape tools from Google Slides. And then, of course, I'm going to select all around them. I'm going to group them together so that I can move them around all together. There we go. And I can create a background also using the shape tools from Google Slides. And that's how you create your name using shapes.